The Acadian Forest covers the three maritime provinces of Canada. That's Nova Scotia, PEI, and New Brunswick, and about half of the northern part of Maine.
So we're smack in the middle of the Acadian Forest.
Yeah. Now we are more southerly. Well, of course, Nova Scotia is even more southerly
correct.
than us. But yeah, so we're approximately mid-range in terms of.
And what's special about Acadian Forest?
Well, it's apparently a unique biosphere from anything else in the world. It's a mixture of trees coming from the south, which are predominantly hardwoods such as white ash, red oak, sugar maple, beech, includes white pine and hemlock, and then there's the trees that are coming from more northerly down.
That would be the boreal forest.
That'll be the boreal species, which are white birch, gray birch, white spruce, balsam fir, poplar or aspen, as they're known somewhere else. So we are getting some of the later succession trees, like the white ash, that are moving in. And again, all forests, but particularly the Acadian forests, are continuously evolving. There's no such thing as just a solid, constant state where nothing changes. Trees are dying, new ones are growing, and the new ones that grow are going to be different species if the conditions have changed from a very open, sunny location to one that contains a much greater, more shade, because more shade also means typically the ground is more moist because it's not getting the same sun exposure and wind exposure. And so it's an evolutionary process where we should proceed into species, the climax trees that can tolerate the very kind of end conditions. They're long-lived and highly shade tolerant. You're looking at hemlock, red spruce on the conifer side, sugar maple, and beech on the deciduous side.
Oak, red oak would be part of that?
Red oak again becomes less because it's only intermediate in its tolerance.
Yep.
So yes, I mean white pine, red oak, white ash, those are all going to be components.
They're still there.
But they are not the most long-lived, and they're not the most highly tolerant of shade.
So they won't be your old growth stuff.
Well, yes, they will be a component of it because trees are always dying, so there's always at some point within your woodlot going to be an opening. And if there's an opening,
something's going to fill it.
Right, and if there's enough sunlight there, red oak and all of the other species, including balsam fir and white spruce, can get a foothold in there.
Okay, so what's that mean when we're actually working the woodlot?
Well, you get a sense of what trees you want in your woodlot, and of course we haven't put climate change in.
That's another factor.
If climate change wasn't going on, our priority in terms of rehabbing and trying to encourage growth would be sugar maple, beech, hemlock, and red spruce. We would of course accommodate and make provision for all of the other species, because again you want diversity. But when you take climate change into account, and you also have to take into account what you actually have.
And we don't have any sugar maple. We have very little hemlock.
Right, so of what would normally be desired species to simply restore back to an original Acadian forest, ignoring climate change, we would want to promote sugar maple. We don't have any. We have not found, and that includes our forester who has walked this property significantly, not a single mature sugar maple. We have planted probably 30 or more seedlings, of which the deer have gotten certainly a significant percentage, and the others, it's hard to say because you can't keep track of all of these different trees that you put out into the woodlot.
Yeah.
So beech, okay, we have one beech sapling about 20, maybe 25 foot tall, no mature beech. We have 3, maybe 4 beech seedlings
that
we've found. So that's where we are on the deciduous side. On the hemlock side, we have no mature, and we've done a clip on our hemlock experience. No mature hemlock on the property. Red spruce, we have
it's pretty good for spruce.
A fairly significant population, way short of what it probably was 400 years ago. But we have, with red spruce, we have material to work with. The problem is red spruce is very iffy in its ability to take on climate change. It's generally predicted to decline, and possibly more serious than simply decline, as in the later stages of climate change. Right now, I think it's enjoying the extra 1 or 2 degrees that we've gotten so far. But so in summary, we're trying to do something good for the woodlot, and we don't have a lot of material to work with. The thing, of course, that is impossible to predict. So, for instance, one of the side effects of climate change is that bugs, insects, pathogens that would typically be kept under tight control by cold, freezing winters are now, more and more of those will survive. So where we had a spruce budworm outbreak maybe every 30 or 40 years, the ability of that insect to propagate even longer and faster is going to increase, and so you may have more frequent attacks, larger attacks. Of course, climate change will bring weather uncertainty, so huge amounts of rain may come down within a fairly short period. We could get longer drought periods. So the whole future is a bit inexact in terms of trying to predict. Bingo on.
Sounds like parenting. You do your best you can, the information you got.
Exactly.
And that's about all anybody can ask for.
Well, I
and
think
we won't get to come back in 100 years and see how it worked out, right?
Speak for yourself.
Oh, pardon me.
Jeez.
I don't think I want you to be around here in 100 years' time.
Well, I don't want you around here in 100 years. I want the place all to myself. I think there's certain things that you can act on, because I think you have to act in a sensible and reasonable manner to cut out fur and allow a more tolerant tree, a more climate change likely susceptible or suitable tree, such as a white ash or a hemlock. Like, to my mind, there's no question. Go out, cut out the fir, give that other tree a better chance to grow and thrive. But again, the key is diversity.
Right.
Never.
So you don't want to take out every fir tree.
If hemlock is an excellent climate change tree, what we will never do on this property is put in a hemlock plantation.
I think it's time to get out and get some work done, don't you?
Sure, go ahead.
So, let's see what we can get up to today.